Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. I'm Mr. C, a Roku critic. I hope you're doing well. We are discussing today a series, and this one is geolocked. So apologies to anyone in the in the North African zone who doesn't have access to this on Netflix. But may I suggest getting a VPN? It's not just for this. It just I find it very useful in my day-to-day life, to be honest. I promise you use it for more than this. So, but if you did want to join us for this, also, it will be of it will be of help. Anyway, we had a fun discussion on another new attempt at a different genre in Nollywood. So I hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing The Party. All right, I think we can start, right? So welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We did discuss Nollywood movies, have Nollywood topics every Sunday, 6 p.m. Watt. Today we'll be discussing The Party. We'll discuss what we liked in the good. We'll discuss what we didn't like in the bad. And we'll disagree in the pushback, and then we'll do a summary at the end. Yeah. If you don't want to speak, just comment under the space and we'll read it out. Starting with Rotimi. Rotimi, tell us what you liked about The Party.
Can you hear me? Sorry, can you hear me?
I mean, yes, but it's very nice where you are.
Okay, let me step away. Okay, so the first thing like this party is just how far is that better? Can you hear me now?
Okay. It's very noisy. Are you in the road? Are you using headphones?
How are you?
Right.
What happened? Let me go down, then I'll come back up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. The one time somebody was going to be first, that was not Vanessa. All right. Okay. Vanessa, tell us.
It's destiny.
Vanessa,
Oh
tell
wow,
us.
look at you. Sometimes you just gotta stick to what you know and the people you know, man.
My friend.
Okay. I'm gonna start with something that might sound silly, but this film is silly, so whatnot. It's been a minute since I heard a grown man being referred to as Bobo. And to be honest, that made me very happy. No, it's not even a joke. Like I've known a couple Akimbo Boyes and so many Bobos around the world. And Akimbo Bola was great in this. I love a Bobo. I love a Bobo as a name. Bring back Bobo as a name. It's great when you're a kid, Bobo, and it's hilarious when you're a grown man. Love it. Number 2, Yomi Fashlanso's eyes are still as expressive as ever. As someone who grew up watching Yomi Fash on Yoruba films, seeing him as the lead detective in this and using his eyeballs the way he has always used his eyeballs, honestly, felt good. Third, I like that the domestic staff, the mom's help was going to go and clean up what was the crime scene. Very Nigerian thing to do. Wetin concern us with crime scene? Blood dey for ground. It's her job to clean. She went to go and clean. I appreciated that as a scene. Could this be Ben Twitu's best performance? Could this be Ben Luigi Tutu's best performance? Because for the first time in a long time, I didn't roll my eyes when Ben was on screen. Guysy, do you know, usually, every time he comes on screen, I roll my eyes and the acting is so bad I can't even focus on how pretty he is. This time, I didn't roll my eyes and I could actually look at him and be like, oh, my, this boy is fine. Baba, your hands gone, Bill. I was like, wow, look at you, Ben. Very proud of Ben. Go, Ben. Apostle. I feel like I don't have to say more. Apostle. I'm sorry. I love seeing, what's his name? His name is Chooks something or something Chooks. I love him. He's a favorite of mine. I love seeing him in things. He's cool every time I see him online on TikTok doing some weird video with his wife. He's a wife guy. I love a wife guy, but I also love him as Apostle. I'm sorry. Apostle was the only one who knew what they were doing in this entire film. The police certainly didn't. Apostle knew what he was doing. Apostle came in the car, told mommy, yo, this is who killed your son. Not in many words, but love Apostle. Always love Bimbo Manuel. I think Bimbo Manuel is always great. I don't care what anybody says. Even on Bimbo Manuel's weakest day, Bimbo Manuel is great. I like Bimbo Manuel and Shafi Bello as a couple. I would like to see it again in something else. I don't know how you people want to do it, but make it happen again. I like seeing them as a couple together. I liked that episode 2 ended with Bobo's mom reciting his Oriki, and into the end credits, it was just his mom reciting his Oriki. I thought that was cool. I liked it. And yeah, that was about it.
Oh, yes, I agree. Tweet was not, I was like, it's not cringe. This is it's a strange feeling to have watching Tweet. Yeah,
his name is Tweet 2, not Tweet 3. Stop it.
Tweet.
Tweet 2. It's Tweet 2.
Tweet to us. I'm sorry. But yes, it was nice just watching him go, oh, okay.
Exactly. I quite literally viscerally, I just looked, I was like, oh. And then I said, okay. He was so good. Ben, do this more so I can go, oh, okay, a lot more. Please.
All right. Thank you. Next was Matt, I believe. Matt, you want to tell us what you liked about the party?
Hello, NFC. I like the fact that it was a whodunit. I don't think we get a lot of those in Nollywood. I mean, I think I saw one this year. What was it? Kantagari goes to I'm trying to forget it. Not that this one was particularly great, but it was better. I liked Ben's performance too. I was like, okay, not cringe. There's just something about him that's always cringe, but great. Out of like the friend group, I think he was the more decent one, I guess. And Daddy Bobo was the best part of the entire thing for me. I came for Ayola, I stayed for Daddy Bobo. I think Bimbo Manuel was good. Apostle was also great. He was, I don't want to say funny at times, because there was nothing funny about what was going on, but just his mannerisms are always funny, whatever role he takes. I really like that. What else? I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ma. I'm also reminded about, I think when Vanessa mentioned, is it Yemi Fash? I didn't grow up watching him. I didn't know much about him. I just knew when I saw him in Citation as this guy's lawyer. I was like, I need to see this guy more. The guy's face is always saying 1,001 things. Quite amazing, to be honest. But yeah, I think next we have, I'm going to say Elizabeth. Elizabeth,
Are you guys sure I'm next?
I don't know actually. It might be Nollywood Must Change.
Yeah, I think I was last person.
Okay. All right, Nollywood Must Change.
I think Rotimi came from me. As Rotimi speaking, can you hear me?
Rotimi is encountering technical difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're Clara now, Rotimi.
Okay, so can I go?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So normally when I see an ensemble cast in Nollywood guys in a Nollywood poster, I usually get more afraid that, look, when I see so many cast, I'm like, okay, this might turn out to be great. Funnily, I think this is probably my best ensemble cast in the Nollywood film since Wedding Party, just based on the fact that the numerous people had like a role to play. And it was like the halfway, it's the whodunit murder, the mystery detective story was like, okay, this thing, when it starts, it kind of looks like, okay, are we trying to do this Hollywood in Nollywood? But what happens that halfway with, Femi Branch, with Bimbo Bob Manuel, with Shafi Bello, with Yomi Fash, those people balance it out with their Yoruba mannerisms and nuances. So it feels like it's home, it's local. So yeah, and it was like, I don't think it's the best murder mystery. It's like you're not getting a Sherlock Holmes or a Knives Out, but it's decent enough. It's not horrible to me. It was like with the interviews and all the characters having their motivations on why potentially they could be the potential killer for Bobo. Then there was also a small throwback when they were interviewing Queen, and I was like, this is from this thing, Basic Instinct. And I was like, yeah, so it was entertaining for me to watch. Me, I'm like, it is the minimum level. I don't know, like maybe like since they are geolocking us, maybe there's a new creator for Nollywood films. If this is the minimum level that we get from Netflix, I'm okay. I'm fine with it. This is actually was entertaining, and I'm seeing a lot of people that enjoyed it. So yeah, that's basically my take.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Rotimi. Nollywood must change.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Should I say I like this? I didn't like it, but I was not pleased. I was not pleased. I don't like it. So I like Shafi Bello in this because I was like, I would prefer Shafi Bello, the way Shafi Bello performed to what Shola Shobowale would have done. I'm glad you didn't cast Shola in this. So, I like Shafi Bello in this. I like her when she speaks Yoruba. I like Kendi Bankole. She's a good actor, so she did what she had to do with the script. I like Femi Branch. I think I like his characterization, the way he spoke, most of his scenes. I like the dialogue. Most of his scenes with the detectives. I like his dialogue with them. Like, if I be the one that had done it, the one that found his body, all this thing. It was kind of funny to me. I like Bimbo Manuel. It's good. You can't doubt that. What else do I like? The thing is that I think the performance in this, should I call it a limited series, was not off-putting, was not bad, was not irritating, like averagely, like not they were excellent, but you not look at the performances and say any of them were like, oh, this is horrible. No. I think they worked with what the director provided them, like what the writer gave them. They just did, okay, this is what you gave us, let us do it. So, and they were trying to do their best. You could see that, they were trying to do their best, like they were trying to perform well. So I think most of the performances were not bad. I couldn't say any of it was bad, actually. So I would say all of it were not bad. They were average, and some were the better ones. So, what is that like? I like the idea of him falling off into the pool. I kind of like that. But, okay, I would wait to my part. But I like the idea of him falling off into the pool. And when everybody was saying, where is Bobo? And him jumping down to his death. So, I kind of like that idea. Even though they could have just executed it better. But I like that. What else do I like? I like that they were trying to impute traditional spiritual thing because we are very spiritual, especially Yoruba people. When someone dies, we are trying to like look for, to who could have done this. Let's go and do some juju kind of thing, not just juju, some traditional rites kind of thing. So I like the idea that they were trying to do that, even though I'm with my bag too. So, but anyways, kudos to them for making something that you are not annoyed, you are not angry, but you can still manage it. So I think generally it's okay for me.
All right. Thanks, Nollywood must change. Elizabeth, do you want to tell us what you liked about the party?
Yes, I want to tell you what I like. So I actually wrote down what I like this time around because, I'm trying to have a more cohesive thought. So first, I think one of my positive is the ensemble cast. Like somebody said previously, this is the first time that I've seen an ensemble cast with with the characters having something, like there is a purpose. They are there. They're not just like filler characters, and they're not lost. Doesn't seem as though they don't know what they are here for. Do you know why you are here? Tell me you don't know why you are here. So they know why they were there. Um, the attempt at realism, especially around the procedural haphazardness, like when I started watching the first episode, I was really laughing because I found it really funny. I mean, I don't know if it was intentional when he got in and you're like, don't let anybody leave. The police is coming. And, it was quite a facade. Even with the policemen themselves, like, let's say, pick this thing up. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was, the attempt at reality. I don't know if it translates well, but there is that potential in depicting that. So, sometimes the disorganized reality of the Nigerian investigation is bad. So second one is, and the third one is, I don't know what was going on with Shafi Bellow's makeup. Like, I didn't like the makeup and wig going on here, but there was something around Shafi Bellow's face, the reddened under her eyes, and then I think her nose part. I don't know if they were going for smudged makeup, but I think they were going for badly done bleached skin, and I thought it was really good. I kept looking at it. I was like, this is not mascara. They're going for that really bleached skin highlight, and I thought it worked. Then the third one, very minute. It doesn't make sense. I don't know why I liked it, but I like that when I started watching it, it does feels like it would be a procedural with the camera angle. Trust me, the cinematography here is not exactly great. But I do like that the tone of the filming, of the directing, knows the kind of, at least they attempted to know the kind of film they were inside, that they were trying to do. So yeah, that's it. See you guys on the other side.
Wow, wow, wow. See you on the other side. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Do you want to tell us what you liked about the party?
Yeah. Hi, good evening, guys. So, what I liked seeing Ayola again. I liked his character. I liked that he was a little crazy. I also liked what's his name? Femi Branch's character. I particularly like how he had about I think a couple of scenes, the whole back and forth he was doing with Uzo's character. I thought it was very funny. Like when he would speak Yoruba to Uzo's character and Uzo's character would speak some Yoruba and add some Igbo to it. I thought it was funny. I thought that was nicely done. I liked that they showed the entire idea that Yomi Fashi's character, when he came in as a senior police officer, he was doing the whole "I know more than you guys, I know what's going on," while fraternizing with the rich people and trying to tell them, "Okay, I'll guide these people. I'll take the spotlight away from you guys." I thought that was realistic towards the way Nigerian police, runs their little whatever. I also liked that Shegun Reze came back again as a police officer. I like that as well. And I like that they showed what's his name? They showed that Bobo, that's Kuleremi. I like that they showed how much of a hypocrite he was, because he was not so different from his father after all, with the whole having children outside of marriage and being just a philanderer. I like that they put the both of them in that light, that the apple didn't fall far from the tree. I also enjoyed Jude Chukwuka's performance as Apostle. It was, brief but impactful. He came in there, he had like one scene inside car, okay, maybe two scenes, one outside the gate and one inside the car, and his message was passed, and it was passed well, and it carried us through the movie. I like that virtually everybody came to work. like this wasn't nobody was trying to win like an AMVC or anything here. It was just let's just come in, do our job, and go home. And everybody did their job as it was supposed to be. I'm very happy to hear some of the accolades that Ben Tuitu, it's Tuitu by the way, not Tuitu. I'm also happy to hear some of the accolades that Ben Tuitu has gotten, because I thought his performance was, what's the word? Like, he was very tame, but he also did what he needed to do. And even though they packed a lot of people in that movie, nobody was out of place and nobody looked like they just threw them in for, for cloud or for 5 minutes of let's just have a big guy there. So yeah, I think off the top of my head, those are the likes I recall.
All right, okay. You people not tell me what Tutu's name is. I say it's Tutu. Anyway, some of the comments. Still Human says, I like the interrogation scenes, especially in episode 1. I liked Bimbo Manuel in this. And Terrence says, likes was entertained, quite intrigued. 2, the acting, Kende, Shafi, Bimbo Manuel, Ayala, Tokwe, the list goes on. 3, the ECUs in the interrogation scenes. We barely see that in Nollywood. 4, I like that it was open-ended. I don't know how it's open-ended. 5, the sex scenes between Tokwe and Kunle. Somebody mentioned sex scene. Okay. Finally. All right. Mrs. C, tell us what you liked about the party.
So I'm gonna say I like that somebody tried something. It's the closest I'm going to seeing the intention here. Honestly, it's been a year. All right, you know what? Okay, I wasn't offended. Cool. That's a plus these days. I wasn't offended as somebody tried something. And I was really entertained in ways that I don't think the film intended. But I was just entertained, and that's a plus. Anyway, maybe that's going to be encroaching into a section I shouldn't encroach on, but I really enjoyed watching him fall from the balcony. That was very entertaining for me. Kehinde Bankole, beautiful woman, enjoyed seeing her. Bimbo Manuel's performance, like everybody has said. I thought for the most part, Kunle Remi was fine as well. He didn't have a lot to do for being somewhat the focus of this, but still. So yeah, I thought he was alright. I don't know that I liked a lot about this particularly. It was just mostly inoffensive and it entertained me, even unintentionally.
Okay. All right. I liked, like a lot of people mentioned, if you think about I think Rotimi mentioned, usually when you have a cast like this vast, it's usually not very good. I think I pointed to, I think I usually point to, is it introducing the Kujus? That's the first one, Abi. Mm-hmm. Yes, the Kujus again is the one that we should never speak of. Introducing the Kujus again is, for me, the best we've done with an ensemble cast. And this, at least, is the most cinematic we've done with an ensemble cast. I don't think it's the best, but like, it's a really good attempt. And it does give a lot of people pockets to shine, acting wise. Surprised not a lot of people have mentioned Femi Branch. I thought he was hilarious in this. Maybe actually it's kind of maybe it's actually, it might be part of some of the humor Elizabeth might have been speaking of. I don't know, but I thought he was very funny, very entertaining. I actually thought a lot of people were good. Shafi Bella had a lot of time to shine and she looked very beautiful. Tolu, oh my goodness. I've always thought she was a beautiful, sexy woman, but this is the sexiest she's looked on screen, even though sometimes I felt like the director was getting in the way of the sexiness sometimes. Because Rotimi mentioned the Sharon Stone sort of nod. But yeah, she looked absolutely amazing in this film. Yeah, like we mentioned, Tui, not cringe, respectable. Ayala was probably, it's weird. Maybe he was the weakest. I don't know. And that's saying something, because like, I don't think he was awful, but given the group of people that he was, actually, was it I can't remember
Don't
his
worry, I
name.
will say his name for you in the bad.
The YouTube.
YouTuber Ray. Is it
I'm
Ray?
sorry. Who? Say again.
Is it Ray?
Is his name Ray?
Is he among his group of friends or the one that killed him? Which one?
That is
The
kind of the group of friends,
friends,
but
the one that was came as attaché with the group of friends.
Ray.
He's part of the
Ray
group of
Adeka.
Ray.
Ray Adeka.
Okay. Maybe Ray was more. He didn't have a lot to do, but from the people who had things to do, I thought Ayola maybe had been the weakest, which is saying something, because again, like I said, I don't think it was a bad performance. There was some nudity in this, and I didn't hate it. I actually thought it is when they went to it was part and parcel of the way it matched the character they were trying to paint Ayola's character as, like, that kind of person, and it helped us tell us the kind of person Uzo's character as, because he also isn't. He was supposed to be more of a prude, and the nudity, the way it happens, it's like split second nipples, and then then everything else is more covered and shot more, we get it, like they're naked without seeing any much more revealing parts. I think that was nicely done. And the way you say it, it's almost like a shock, like the way Zoriko would have felt it as a shock. I thought that's fine. That's not something, it's like when we complain about, or when, let me speak for myself. When I complain about nudity in Nollywood, it's not like it can't be done well. I think it's very possible, but this is an example for me of something that did not stand out to me, look out of, it didn't stand out anyway, especially in a bad way. So, there's a lot of, I like the intention behind some of the things that I would say from here. Shegun Arinze, Alan mentioned reprising his role as a policeman. I would like to see a movie in the Shegun Arinze as a policeman universe where all these films are connected somehow. I love to think that Shegun Arinze is actually a policeman in real life, and sometimes we are just shooting parts of his life and intertwining it in Nollywood. But I also thought Shegun Arinze genuinely had a banger line, one of those broad lines you would expect to see in a film, where this guy, Yemi Fash, said, "I just know this person's a murderer. I feel it in my bones." And Shegun Arinze said, "Unfortunately, your bones is not admissible in court." I think that's a banger line. Absolute banger of a line. On paper, and the way Shegun Arinze delivered it, I think that's a banger line. We could have done with a lot more of it, but, I just think there are a lot of good close-ups there are a lot of interesting attempts in the cinematography to be different and to be cinematic. There's a lot of really close-ups, which I haven't seen in Nigerian movies, to be honest. And so, yes, there's just a lot of things in terms of, I liked the intention. I like that they tried that there. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to stop for me in terms of the things that I enjoyed with the party. All right, as we move on, what did we not like about the party. Rotimi, do you want to kick us off? It is well. All right. Vanessa.
I'm inevitable. Okay. Kuleremi is dead in this. Haba. It's unfair. I'm sorry. Sue me. I don't understand how. Okay, fine. Okay, you killed him back on me. But if you are investigating his death, then shouldn't he be in this more? Or am I crazy? Why wasn't I looking upon Kuleremi's face throughout this whole film? At least until they find out who killed him. Like, guys, do better. Number 2, and I asked this while I was watching the film. I tweeted it, and I'm gonna ask again. Iru trousers boni female detective yeah, Kosivai. What kind of trousers did that female detective wear? Because God, the trousers, no, it's not funny. The trousers are not capris. Neither are they skinny trousers that are full length. They are not cut off at they are neither 3/4, neither are they shorts. I don't know what those trousers are. They fit so tightly around her thigh and around her shins. I was like, what? And then she now naked, one kind of shoe on top of that trouser. Oh God. I'm sorry. You people were talking about you like the interrogation. I could not take her seriously with those trousers on. Every time, I'm sorry. Every time she came on scene and she was walking into the frame, I'm like, oh God, this babe has come again. I could only take her serious when she was sitting down. I could only take her seriously when she was sitting down and hiding those trousers behind the desk. Please, guys, let's be guided. Everybody is dressed like a normal human being. All the police officers, they are dressed like normal. She came in one kind trousers that I don't understand the meaning, but no problem. Might seem like a nitpick, and I'm jumping ahead so many things, but you know that scene in the flashback of Oyinye thinking about her and Bobo having sex. Sorry, whoever chose that song, don't do it again. You people were saying I cringed so badly I could feel my skin crawl. That song was corny. Mind you, that scene was already corny. The whole premise of that scene was corny. The whole premise of that flashback was corny. You now add that stupid song on top, it don't make sense. Whoever chose that song, stop it. Then my number 2 bad. I know Mr. C was saying Ayola. This man and his alliteration of a name, but no problem. Ayola. Nothing. I'm sorry. You said he's the weakest bar. Is a lie. Mind you, I do think he wasn't very good in this, especially given how everybody else usually, if you put all these other people in a whole different film with Ayola, they probably wouldn't also be as good as him. Which, I don't know, it was a little bit of a mind melding situation. However, Ayola was not the worst. James Gardner, my brother from Ghana. I have 3 questions. What is that hair? 1. Number 2, this is coming from the heart. James, my dear, are we sure about this acting career? I ask this with all the love in my heart because, James, darling, you have a face. Let me tell you now, you have a mug on you. Your face card can buy that GLE. That GLE, how much is it? 25 million. Your face card can buy that GLE. I need you to reconsider. Perhaps acting is not the one. Maybe we can consider things like modeling. You would be great in a perfume ad. I don't know how I can get you there. In fact, I can see you in a Veuve Clicquot ad, sipping on some expensive champagne. I can see you in ads. But this acting thing, perhaps can we consider a little bit James Gardner? And my 3rd question is really James Gardner. That's who we chose. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know if he's, again, no indictment upon you, James. he's getting into some project. As I saw him in the weekend, I asked the same question. Are we sure? But no problem. Hey, next. I also don't think that, again, back to that flashback section. I don't think that scene was necessary. I don't think that line of questioning was necessary. I know it was in a bid to show that men do think with their penises, and that's how they conveniently decided to settle on somebody else as the suspect. When somebody told you she's having an affair with somebody, like, that's not enough motivation. But I don't think that line of questioning was necessary. I don't think that sexy was necessary. I think it was incredibly corny. The scene in the shower, I don't like it. Sorry. Next. Question. The leap to Moturayo as the guilty as the suspect. That was a quantum leap. That was a quantum leap, especially because these people were saying, oh, John Paul had to have been on the premises, guys, because John Paul even if John Paul didn't go to the party, because all of them live in that apartment building, John Paul was still in the goddamn building. John Paul was still in the goddamn building. You people interviewed John Paul. 2 people now have mentioned John Paul. James Gardiner character, waiting be named Ralph. Ralph had said, I saw him go and meet the victim and they were arguing. They say, your husband, somebody say her husband found out. Even if the wife said, my husband didn't find out. If somebody else has said her husband found out, shouldn't John Paul be you people's main a suspect? How do you... So, my question is this. Even if you don't believe he's your main suspect, wasn't John Paul still in the... Or is it that when they finish interviewing people, they let them go home? Or... Because I don't think that was very clear. Because I'm thinking John Paul was still in the goddamn building. When if they interviewed his wife after him, they could have called him back and said, hello, Egbo, did you know that your wife was it today, that you found out that your wife was sleeping with Bobo? They didn't interview, they didn't call John Paul back into the room. Haba, what was that? And then all of a sudden, they just jump. So after finding out about the affair from the 2 wives, they still did not interview John Paul. Then, again, I have to ask, hey, that secret, they did this whole scene. His daddy was flashing back during the interview. Bobo was blackmailing him. Bobo gave him some documents. I thought, this secret has to be serious. Perhaps some, embezzlement, some criminal activity. Ashe, his daddy was just being a Yoruba man. No, now. Sorry, no. Because this is coming from somebody who that very same morning was accused of impregnating a 19-year-old teenager. He's a philanderer who is sleeping with his best friend's wife. So, that's the secret that your daddy have another family of 4. Come off it now. That your daddy just a Yoruba man. Had it been it's your daddy that died first, is all the secret children will come to the funeral. So me, that daddy secret don't really hold water. Apologies to all involved. I do think that was a letdown. And I can say that his daddy is being a Yoruba man because I'm a Yoruba girl. Your daddy Bobo was just being a Yoruba man. I don't think that's a secret. I don't think that's a secret worth blackmailing him over, and a secret worth giving an entire apartment building. Even, I'm sorry, so dramatized. Even the way Femi Branch's character was like, if you know your daddy's secret money lower, I know the things. What's the things that daddy have for all the come off it, man? Come off it immediately. I'm sorry. That I thought, even mommy Bobo, did she leave daddy Bobo? She didn't leave him. She's angry, but she's still in the car with Daddy Bobo after finding out that Daddy Bobo is sleeping with somebody who is pretending to be a friend. Because Daddy Bobo just a Yoruba man. Apologies to all involved. And my final bad, the fall. I know everybody's talking about, he fell and he broke his name in the pool. Okay, I thought that was cute. I loved the fact that when he fell, the bubble that they put in the swimming pool, he chipped the bubble. I thought that was funny. However, that fall, that fall was giving I shouldn't say this, but that fall was giving me a Kamalayo VFX. Sorry. That fall was giving me a Kamalayo Studios did the VFX, man. Sorry. I could not. I literally rewound the scene. I was like, wow, that's our fall. This is a big reveal, guys. We finally see how it happened. And that's the fall. We really? Okay. That's it, guys. That's my part.
Hey, Fall of Life. That's on Mrs. C's list. I can't wait for her to go over it. But yeah, what a fall. All right. Matt, do you want to tell us some things you did not like about the party?
I can't believe that Vanessa beats me to the trousers. I cannot believe. Whilst I was watching, I just kept on thinking, who put Eva Ibiam inside this pair of trousers? Who bought it? Who sold it? Who did the fitting? Why? I meant to take that character serious. The experts. Of which, when Yemi Fash is talking about, oh my gosh, they are experts. Mind you, the only reason why he has for them being experts is that she's related to someone in the police force. Yeah. The whodunit was not done in. It was just not done in. It was not done. From episode 1, I just kept on saying, aye, the business partner, he did it, but let me see where this is going to. And they're like, this person is blackmailing, he's blackmailing this person, that person, this, that, and the third. That's his father's secret. First of all, Daddy Bobo wanted an extra son. He wanted another son. Daddy Bobo had 4 girls. As Daddy Bobo had the first child, a girl. Daddy Bobo said, I'll do it again. Another girl. I had to pause to look at the picture. 4 girls, because he wanted 1 son. Wonderful, but he's a Nigerian man. I'm not surprised. But yeah, the police were they're not good at their job. They're not experts at much or anything. Because how did they really land at Motumayo? They just, the way they jumped, they flew into arresting her. They just went from point A to point B and arrested her. It didn't make any sense. There was nothing that made sense about her arrest. Not a damn thing made sense about Motoria's arrest, because they've told you that, John Paul finds out that, what's his name? Bobo is sleeping with his wife. You ask John Paul's wife. John Paul's wife takes like a very long pause and tells you, no, he didn't find out. Nothing suspicious. Yemi Fash just brings up the, what's the thing called? And it's like, arrest her. And the experts in their infinite wisdom, they arrested her, took her to the station. For what? Nothing. Nothing that could be admissible in the court of law. Absolutely nothing. And then they had to go back and bring back Onye or Queen, whichever one, for her to now come and give us the flash, It was just, the whodunit was just not done in, quite frankly. It wasn't. And I really had high hopes. I wanted to like it. I really wanted to, but I was just not able to. And also another thing, when Bobo found out that JP knew about him sleeping with his wife, Bobo goes, Mabinu, I'm sorry, man. You are sleeping with your friend's wife. Your friend finds out. That's all he just goes, Mabinu, I'm sorry, man.
Maybe that's how they do in Lagos.
Maybe we don't know this.
Baba with the steez. Baba with the steez, he can't do too much. You guys are forgetting that that's their landlord. Even JP could not do too much. That's their landlord.
It actually took me out. Somebody said maybe they should enter polyamorous relationship because
they reduce their rent.
It only makes sense that he reduced their rent.
We are clearly part owners. We are clearly a family.
I had to go back. I was like, no, I know that's not. He just said, Mabino, I'm sorry, man. Hey! In fact, I wish JP was the one that killed him. It would have made more sense. Let JP push him to death. What do you mean, Mabidu? I'm sorry, man. Mabidu, I'm sorry, man. That's what would have triggered me. I'll kill you there and then. Rubbish. So, I think that's much of what I did not like. But I found it funny anyways, but did not like all those things. No.
Sorry,
Okay.
but I'm just saying
Oh,
nobody
sorry,
here.
one last
No,
thing.
go on.
The audacity of Bobo to go and tell his father that I'm disappointed in. Bobo, you're disappointed in who? Bobo, you have a 19-year-old girl that is pregnant that thinks you're going to marry her and keep her as wife number 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't care. And you're telling your daddy, you're like, Daddy, I'm disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed. Hey!
Maybe he's disappointed that he's just like him. I don't
No,
know.
sis.
Maybe that was better than.
You don't understand. Before I ask me about high ground. It's one thing to just be playing small away match here and there. It's a different thing to have full family. You're doing photo shoot with, you dress and co and do photo shoot with your secret wife.
Maybe the filmmaker wanted us to explore the part of it.
Please. Please. The filmmaker, is the filmmaker Yoruba?
Yes, it's Yemi Filmboy.
That's all that needs to be said, to be honest.
Oh God. Yeah. I think Mrs. C wanted to say in regards to Kunle saying Mabinu and I'm sorry, man. It's like whom amongst us has not mistakenly accidentally smashed their best friend's wife?
Like,
Whom amongst
like that.
Thank you.
Let's me.
Apparently, it's do be happening.
No, you guys sounding like that woman who married at first sight Australia that her husband fell into his co-worker's vagina. I'm sorry, I can't.
You apologize.
Yeah.
Like, friendship goes through highs and lows.
He wasn't supposed to marry
He wasn't
her.
supposed to marry her. This is friendship. Long-term friendship.
So like, not like can stop. Like,
You know,
after.
I cannot talk about long-term friendship just because it's small.
Yeah, that was wild and loose. All right. Okay. Rotimi, are you back? All right. Next on this, I think, was Nollywood Must Change.
Okay. Please, can you hear me? Because I went off a little bit.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. One thing about who done it is that it always involves intelligence. I'm sorry to say, this limited series never included intelligence. Because as a detective, you should be able to put one and one together. You know, the job is to put one and one together. Even though the characters are narrating, oh, I am this and this, I did it, I was here. The way you question them is that where were you at the time of this? Like, you will need to put one and one together. Like close or something that will lead to you finding what killed the character. I mean the victim. So these our detectives. They didn't do anything to be asking questions. I want together to know, oh, this is what, could this be this? Could it be that? This and that. They were just listening to their guy, oh, I raised the wife, this is this, oh, this. So it never included intelligence. I'm not insulting the writer, but I think the writer doesn't know. Maybe the writer just have the idea of what a mystery murder is, but they don't know how it works. Do you understand? How it works. Because, you see, I watched The Resident earlier this week, last week, and I knew the person who killed the victim. Immediately they were narrating, I knew the person who killed the victim, but I wanted to know how this person killed the victim and would point to it. So I wanted to know, I was sure that this was the person that killed the victim. And then when they got to like maybe episode 6, episode 7, I was a bit confused because the whole thing was shifting. And then at the last episode, they came to the detective was a layered character. She was talking about boards, about angles of views, and all these. She did 1 + 1 and 1 together to find the person who killed that character. Everybody will come and narrate. Then one Baba will now come at the end and say, it's the person that give you this and that. It never made any sense. There was no iota of intelligence in this writing. And the victim was my character. I was not bothered. I was like, how do I care about this person that, you know, if you're writing something like this, the victim should be, the central character should be an interesting character. Like, you'll be so interested in this story. Okay, it was just a bad character. Like, okay, let's just do. And one thing about us is that we always want a dimensional character. If the character will be bad, very bad, it will be good, just too good. We will try to portray that. The father is bad, the victim is bad. So it was kind of, you know, didn't make any sense. But one thing about all this, about this genre of film is that whether who is the person that killed it. So that's one thing about it. But the writing needs to like exude intelligence. Your detective needs to know the mechanisms of murder or mechanisms of committing crime. In medicine, there is a way you kill. If someone falls into a pool and the person drowns and you can find water inside that person, you know that this person is not dead before falling into the pool. The person has not died before falling into the pool. If the person doesn't, swallow water, the person has died before falling into that pool. So there are things you look at, the angle, close range of gunshots. There is what you will look at to know, shot, the killer was close, the killer was not close, and all that. The type of gun, everything. There are things you look at the forensics. The way the person fell, they never looked at how this guy fell. Okay, was he dead before he fell? Was he not dead? How could, if someone pushes you, there is a kind of mechanism, the way the person would fall. They never did that. And as a detective, you should know those simple things. They never did that. So, and when they came and said, what was this guy? I forgot the medication. They said he swallowed. He had heart issues and then arrhythmia. Okay, he had cardiac arrhythmia, and then if he it will kill him. Cardiac arrhythmia will not just stop all of a sudden. People don't just die all of a sudden. Like they have to just stop all of a sudden and this and he will fall and that. I'm sure he was not dead before he fell into that pool. I think he was dead. Because I had clearly he was dead before into the pool. That someone had killed him. And all of a sudden the wife was a pharmacist. They just wanted to point everything to the wife. I was like, God, you will kill this woman at this point. Because they were just kind of claiming, it's this woman I did it, it's this one I did it. So they were trying to point to the woman to just deflect the whole thing. And that one to his finger. Immediately that girl looked at the finger, I knew, and then I said he drank wine. I was like, oh. And that one, at the end, all of a sudden, she remembered, she was looking at his finger. Sometimes you might not even remember to look at the people you are questioning at their fingers. So what if you didn't see the finger? I really wish you could do better with the writing. If you are trying to write a genre, know what you are writing. Know what you how it works. Take Knives Out. Our main character will put one out. No, even if you cannot get the person who committed the crime, if at the almost close to the end, you would have known what will lead you to get the person. When the person cannot now fall into your trap, you cannot set a trap, and the person will just fall into the trap. Oh, you're not saying, okay, this is it. But this writing never showed any sign of intelligence at all. I mean, let me just say, the writing never showed any sign that this person knew what they were writing. They just wanted to write a mystery murder, and I'm happy for them. And I think Ayola's performance, I feel like I was not angry with most of the performances, but I think Ayola's performance was kind of off at the beginning. I was like, what is this guy doing? Anyways, I've never liked him as an actor. I've never believed, I know I hated him, but I've never believed he's a good actor. So I don't know what people always say when they say, oh, yeah, you like this and that, and Menu this and that. I've never liked the series though, but he's not a good actor. So but it was not disgusting. So yeah, that's my bad.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Nollywood Must Change. Elizabeth, do you want to tell us what you did not like
Yeah,
about?
I want to tell you what I did not like. Okay, so I wrote this down, guys. So what everybody has been saying, And some. I wrote every single thing down because I did not want to forget. First, the person and the structure. Let's start with that. These 3 episode formats was absolutely unnecessary. Zero reason for it. I was bored out of my mind. I watched this thing for like 18 hours and I hated the fact that I had to watch for 18 hours. The core story could have been effectively told in a 90-minute film. Episode 2 in particular was drawn out with its repetitive, she did it. Didn't she? She did not. Did she? She didn't. Didn't she? Oh my God, she did it. She did not do it. It's Onyinye, it's not Onyinye. She did it. It's JP. That was the entire episode 2. Oh my God, like I thought I was going mad. Then episode 3 contained most of the compelling elements and could have just formed the backbone of a tighter narrative. 2, dialogue. The dialogue was most times uninspired and pedestrian. It lacks mostly in the sharpness or the intrigue that is expected of a whodunit. At first, I thought they were going for a more Nigerian, but the writing was just lazy. Not just lazy again, it was so convenient. Then let's go to the murder mystery, the clarity, and then the execution. The investigative process felt muddled and lacked a clear direction. So we should start from when they started and everybody was just running around. And I thought it gave you that authentic Nigerian thing, but I thought, quickly we'll get into the nitty gritty, but nothing seems to be happening. Then the technical aspects, like establishing the whereabouts of witnesses during the interrogations. Now, did you guys notice that there was mounted cameras? Mounted cameras. Guys, I was just looking at cameras and at no point did I see these niggas, this running around detectives. Not once did they say, give me all the cameras here now. Nothing. So why are you showing us the cameras? Saz and Maz in the production room. Come to the front. Step forward. Why do you usually show me? Why am I seeing people walking around from the camera angle? And so we overlooked all of this. And the entire thing just feels clumsy. And there was also a noticeable lack of urgency in this investigation. Guys, we were just standing around. So one person will ask, what happened? Another person will just lean over. Is that true? Another person say, tell me now. Guys, they did this for 3 episodes. I was like, I washed clothes, I folded clothes, I ironed uniform. I was like, what bagwan? It was just the same thing. Like if I look up, like it's the same scene over and over and over and over and over again. And some of the lines from the law enforcement were baffling. Okay, Nollywood Must Change actually mentioned it. But so a doctor called the detectives and said, yes, he used one drug. His cardiac arrest. He must have had cardiac arrest. And the policeman said, we don't. So that must have been what killed him. We don't know. Was that what killed him? Let's ask his parents for the medical history. Niggers. I was like, I'm like, it's do be real life inside film. Cause I know we might not even give Nigerian detective credits. I mean, we may have a perception of them, but I doubt that they are actually in real life as bad as the writer wrote, or the writer himself was just not such a good person, has not bothered to sit down to watch films, read books, bloody watch, do something. Like, that part was so weird. I'm like, they will not go and collect the medical history. They will not call the doctor. They will not tell the doctor. The doctor will not know what he's finding. Not mind you that the people that used to check people that died is what they used to call them, please. Who is the doctor here? Like they can tell this thing, they can tell your medical history, but somehow these people were going to go and ask the father for medical history, and they were going to call the doctor to say it's so unclear if this was an intentional critique of the Nigerian process or just simply weak writing. So let's go to inconsistent tone and unnecessary elements. The sex scenes in episode 2 felt out of place and tonally jarring with the rest of the series. I don't know where that came from. And then they did it, I think, twice or thrice. And I was like, what's up? What's the reason? I don't know. I think Nigeria directors, we need to have a conversation around tone, your film tone. Like, do you understand what you're doing? Like, Is there a reason, or you think sex as a plot device or sex as Parmesan cheese, like just sprinkle it? I don't know. Is it supposed to be something that's, supposed to wow the audience? Then the flashbacks, especially those recapping events from mere minutes or hours prior, they were so unnecessary. I'll be seeing a flashback, and flashback is something that happened at the party, and it was not in a weird dreamlike state where there is an echo and you're not sure what you're. It happened like 3 times, and there was it was accompanied by distracting sound design, so I didn't like it. Then the concept of time within this entire thing, the concept of time within this narrative, time itself in this entire narrative was just a concept. It was a concept. Time was a concept. It was something that was. It was without form. It was a formless situation. Because half of the time I'm thinking, so what's the time now? What now happened? Like, what's the time? Like, in my head, I kept saying, what's the time now? Like, with the people that they detained that said, don't leave this thing, would they not be tired? Is it that tenants were the ones that attended this thing? People want to go and like, in my head, I just kept thinking about the time. Then the next one is character motivation. The commissioner's intense personal investment in the case wasn't clearly justified. Half of the time, this was the first guy that said, she's the one. She killed. I told you, she's the one. And then at one point, when we now found out that this man had 700 children outside, and then he now broke into this monologue of, things are never as they seem. I'm like, nigga. What's these vibes on vibes going on in this series? Like, what's these vibes on vibes? Then let's talk about the plot cohesion, the key plot points, such as the police that's discovered John Paul was the last. See, there was a part in episode 3. They said, we discovered John Paul was the last person to see the victim. When did that happen, guys? Episode 1 to 2, Tori Olong. Because I saw these guys just standing around dark room saying, you did it! Where were you? What happened? And then the next one, like, we figured JP was the last person that. It just felt so underdeveloped and it was unclear. Then episode 3, okay, sound issues. I wrote this one. Episode 3 suffered from like noticeable sound problems. Then integration of themes. I wrote this. The attempt to weave spiritual elements with the realistic procedural was not handled effectively, ultimately undermining the police's competence within the right narrative. I don't see, even this one is me speaking big English. It just did not make sense to me. And James Gardiner's character hardly showing up during most of the questioning shows how very weak the story writing is. Throughout this film, it's not a film, it's a series. Throughout this series, I kept wondering, so the best thing that was giving it was, what's the story with that one? This guy had the least story for the person I suppose, like, it's a murder mystery. The person who did it is supposed to have something so compelling. And this feels so like cut and join, like Taylor Laurent. And then there was this thing they also did that wasn't well done. It was half strewn. They were trying to badly tie the detective's life into the story. I don't know what came up, like, what's up with that? She was having flashback to sound, is it because, so okay, we know that she shot her husband and it came up a couple of times, but how does that affect the entire story? What was the reason? And then there wasn't exactly any form of sleuthing going on, guys. They were just harassing the witnesses. It was just a lot of harassment going on, like, they were just harassing. No, there was no sleuthing. Overall, nothing overall. Let me just free at this moment. Let me just tell you guys that I was just picking things out because it was just annoying me. Thank you.
Wow. Came prepared. Elizabeth came prepared.
You don't speak English.
All right. Anna, what did you not like about the party?
First off, I want to thank Elizabeth for mentioning the CCTV camera issue, because first of all, beginning of that movie, when the detectives were walking around, they literally point to the CCTV camera so it's like, okay, you guys are going to use this at some point. The basic, when I say basic, I mean virtually every whodunit, every mystery, detective, crime, whatever story anyone is doing. If there is a CCTV in a building, the most basic thing you can hear from the detectives is always, can we get the videos? Do these cameras work? We would like to see the videos. It happens every single time. The videos may be empty, but they just do it for the sake of. And for some reason, they did not think to do it for the sake of. In this movie that we were walking around and walking inside this house, they didn't do that. No problem. Then, I don't know how these great detectives just jumped at Motunrayo. Like, that's the craziest jump off I've ever seen. Like, they didn't even have her on something solid. It was just, well, they saw you going into the study after he died. What were you looking for? She did not answer. The next thing, you're under arrest. She's a pharmacist, no problem. We didn't really get anything about her being a pharmacist. They just dropped it out of nowhere. No problem. JP's, like, excuse me, but you sat down with someone's wife and the person's wife told you that she was cheating on her husband who is a tenant in this house with the landlord. And after you got that information, you did not think, maybe she could be telling lies that her husband didn't know. It's quite possible that her husband may have found out but did not confront her. This is like if somebody had just left the detective school last week, they would at least consider maybe her husband found out but didn't tell her. Maybe he has one dark plan to kill her lover and kill her too. Nobody thought about it. But everybody decided that because the wife is a pharmacist, she must have put something in his drink. And Motunrayo's character even asked when they got to the police station, did you even ask who got the drink? Like, obviously someone gave him this drink. He walked upstairs with another person. Everybody else but Motunrayo did not follow this guy upstairs, but somehow she's the suspect. She's the lead suspect because his parents said she's a witch, and they said these detectives were not detective, and the way they came in, like they were about to do something great. Hey, don't drink your wine, don't do this, everybody should get out of this place. So they should have just allowed the house girl sweep that place if this is what they were going to do, because there was no point. I just thought maybe perhaps the only reason they arrested Motunrayo was because they wanted a change of location, because there was I've never seen even Katangari did not come to a conclusion that fast. What do you mean you just bundled somebody? There were people that had actual motives to kill a nigger. What was Motunrayo's motive aside the fact that she flung aside these freeloaders? Even Chidi sat down there and said, well, some of these guys were taking advantage of him, including Martins, who was owing him 150 million. But nobody thought that a nigger owing somebody 150 million is enough motive to kill him. Are you serious? They had at least 3 other people they could have arrested before they landed on Motunrayo. Even if Yomi's character was so certain because his bones told him that obviously the wife gonna kill the husband, you mean that the one that came highly recommended from AIG, they no send her go better school where she go reason 1 or 2? The other one that was doing gang, she knows what she's doing. I'm here to support himself. He no reason now. I've never seen the fall off of these detectives was something to witness. The next thing, it took Motunrayo saying, did you even ask whether, did you even ask who brought the drink? And then it was like there was a light bulb that came up in their heads. And I'm like, are you guys serious? Are you guys serious? What do you mean you did not consider that? That's basic detective work. He was drinking something. Who gave it to him? Nobody asked. There were people with motives and people that were close enough to kill him and run out. Nobody asked. JP was not at that party. Nobody asked. Somebody came and threatened him that day, and then they allowed the person drop another threat of I would have disappeared the body, and they did not think, let's just take him in if they wanted to take somebody in so badly. It was, God, dude, this whodunit did not done it too. And then after everything, James Gardner's character was barely even questioned. Like, he's his business partner. Even if you're interviewing the spouse, normally somebody usually comes up with the whole idea of, they are business partners. Is it possible that they had a deal gone wrong? Was it possible that someone, like, nobody even looked into James Gardner's character? If for nothing else, if I saw a nigga with that hairstyle, I would have asked if he could murder somebody, because that's a very suspicious hairstyle on his head. I just did not understand why nobody thought to look into that character. Anyways, to God be the glory. If nobody else knew what they were doing on that set, Apostle knew exactly who did it. And maybe instead of calling the detective, they should have allowed Apostle to do the damn job. That's all they needed. They did not need all these other people that came from wherever. They could have just gotten Apostle and he would have told them who did it and would have moved on with our lives. And this movie would have been over by episode 1. That's all we needed. But no problem, Sha. Thank you to everybody involved.
Oh God. Alana said they should have just let
Apostle.
Oh no, that was on my list. I said it in my good. That's the only person who knew what they were doing in this whole thing.
Apostle.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. But Apostle would have given you the answer in code, please.
That one, but at least he had an answer. He wasn't doing tumbo basically. He knew the answer.
Who badgering the witnesses? Were they better than the one speaking in code?
Help me,
not better to speak in code.
And know the actual answer. At least we will be deciphering the code. Even mommy didn't it take mommy 2 tries to decipher the code?
But alas, they all realized it at the same time.
2 tries.
They all realized it at the same time. So
it's because they did not allow Apostle inside it quickly enough.
They see everybody's kind.
Apostle's riddle was
prophecy, vision.
I beg. Yeah, the thing I was talking about was Alana saying they should have just allowed the house help clean up.
Honestly,
it's funny because these people were forming like they were forming bad deaths. Like, how dare you? Don't you know?
Procedure.
I can't believe.
Don't touch nothing, mate.
Anyway, and then you go and arrest somebody, and what's his name? Expressive Eyes detective went on to talk about we have a mountain of evidence. I was like, what? From mountain? Start with one. I'll start with one. All right. Last call for Rotimi. It's Rotimi about. Okay. Mrs. C, do you want to give us what you do not like about this party?
See, to be honest, I like a whodunit. I do. And a whodunit is a fairly, I would say it's simple, but because again, it takes talent to make something look simple, right? Or look easy. But there is sort of a way to how whodunits happen and how they are set, right? And I think we kind of started out in that way where we're at this party, the murder has happened and we've kept everybody here, right? Like even Katangari goes to town. Katangari kept everybody in the compound for as long as it took to solve the whodunit, right? I feel like for a whodunit, you have to suspend disbelief on, you have to forget about there's an outside world, right? Forget about why have they not called the police? Why is the police not coming here to handle this, right? And you have to find some way to keep everybody in the same place, right? Either on a secluded island, there's no internet and the boat is not coming for the next 3 days. Or, which other ways? Or on the Orient Express, right? Or, what was the other one where it's something in Venice? Just something has to keep everybody in the same place, right? Until this whodunit is solved. Even in, what's it called?
Knives Out.
It's Knives Out I was thinking about, right? But I was just thinking about this film that Weekend to remember. Even Weekend to remember, right? Weekend to forget. Oh, join. Weekend to forget. They sure kept everybody in the same place. Sure, they're getting picked off, whatever. But Washa in the same location. As soon as they arrested Motunrayo and took her to the station, I was like, okay. I guess we're not whodunit it anymore. Because even at some point they were talking about people have gone home or somebody has left. I'm like, what do you mean people have left? I thought we said nobody's living here until we solve this.
People don't used to hear words in Nigeria.
What do you mean people have left? Like, you stay here until this is over, no? It's like, well, there goes the, whodunit formula. And then I know they were trying something, right, to use everyone's interviews to tell a story and splicing them here and there. But I think someone forgot to think about how, I put it now, what the implications of some of the splicing would be. For instance, something I remember taking me out was when they were interviewing Motunrayo I'm assuming for the first time, when they were interviewing Motunrayo. And she did this whole, they're like, oh, he slept with somebody and he got a 19-year-old pregnant. And she's like, yeah, but like he's always been a philanderer. They're like, yeah, but it's all been away and this is the first time it's been, at home. And she's like, no, it's not the first time. So now clearly they don't know, right? They're not baiting her into anything. They don't know that this is not the first time he's brought it close to home. She gives them that information. They're like, who's Onye? I thought we had her down as Queen. And then we go to Queen and they're like, oh, did you stop, sleeping? They're like, yeah, so as soon as she warned me off him, blah, blah, blah. And then we have her own flashbacks and whatever. And then we come back to Motunrayo going, she said I threatened to kill her. Now that takes me completely out. Because that interview with Queen/Onye is on the basis of this interview with Motunrayo. But it seems like we're continuing this current interview unless the police are so incompetent, they just pause questioning, they went to look for Onye, finished asking Onye, sent Onye back, went back to bring Motunrayo to complete phase 2 of the interview. I was like, I get what you're trying to do, but you need to think of what the implications of stating these things or compiling them in this manner would be. And for me, it was taking me out of the whole story. Next. That fall, I'm sorry. I have to mention the fall again. I kept waiting for them to show me his fall. I'm like, okay, so y'all have determined that he got poisoned and then he fell. Show me that fall. Show me that fall from that balcony that is about the height of his chest. Show it to me. I want to see him match the corner and leverage himself up to fall into the pool. No, just vibes. Because I kept asking Mr. C, like, if we're going to poison, how are we going to have him falling over? It's like, it's just going to be Nollywood magic, no two reason now. And that's exactly what happened. And that was sad. That was sad. What else? I felt like when we had those scenes where Onye/Queen's character was talking about how, oh, she would like to be fucked by a real man, and it's like her whole demeanor changes. Like we have her lighting a cigarette and she's being all sexy and we're now flashing back to all this sex, and I'm like, what film are we in?
Basic Instinct.
What film are we in? Did we switch films? Did someone forget which film we were in because they wanted to have a sexy moment of a sexy woman lighting a cigarette and then just acting like she's trying to seduce all 3 police people that were there?
Literally Basic Instinct.
Literally. And I was like, and I kept asking, who directed this? Who directed this and why? Why are we doing this? Why are you taking me out of this film? This doesn't belong here. You're taking me out and it's absolutely unnecessary. That is someone being interrogated, right? She's not fucking Sharon Stone. Let's be for real. She's being interrogated. She has already given us the demeanor of somebody who is, scared, uncertain, blah, 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 whatever, right? We've seen her go, oh no, I left him alone, blah, 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 blah. She's not this person who then lights up a cigarette in the middle of her interrogation to talk about how much she enjoyed fucking the deceased. Let's be fucking for real. Pardon all the French. So yeah, there was also that. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, like, who done it? I don't think someone wanted to do a whodunit and someone else didn't want to or didn't know how or was just like, whatever, mate, we're going to do what we're going to do. I also felt like so Uzo Arukwe wasn't particularly strong in this. And I think he's a good actor overall. And I was quite annoyed with how they had him performing. And I feel like it was because they didn't complete a lot of his lines. I feel like a lot of his lines were incomplete. I feel like he was having to ad-lib the ending of some of the sentences, repeat some sentences because they haven't given him anything else to do. Like that scene where he goes into Ayola's house and he keeps going on and on about his mouth smelling. I was like, okay, that sentence is over. It's played out, right? But it just very much felt like there was nothing else to say. There were so many like scenes in the hallway. How could you have not finished the sentence? And someone has directed it quite poorly. They don't know. It's like you're trying to keep us in suspense of what's going to be said. But then it takes you out of the flow of somebody coming in for a confrontation. Because somebody coming in for a confrontation is not, how could you, and then pause, right? Like, because they don't want us to hear the rest of it. Someone coming in to confront his friend on fucking his wife is not coming in and pausing because of present company. It's going all out. But it's probably why Mabinu works, because it was really never that deep in the first place, clearly. But it really felt like a lot of his lines were unfinished. I don't know, someone told Ayola that his character does a lot of cocaine and does a lot of drugs, and that it was just all the time. All the time. Now, I don't do cocaine, right? And I don't know that I know people who do cocaine. But like, I don't imagine all of you Lagos people, actually Abuja people, you are the ones that will know people who do cocaine. Do they walk around?
Please, we don't know such people.
Abuja is Sodom and Gomorrah, be guided. Abuja is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Don't do that.
We all know.
We don't know anybody. However, that is
Nothing
the
of such do not happen.
Thank you.
No, it don't
Please,
happen
we are
Abuja
here.
people protest too much.
Help me,
It
don't
don't
that.
happen. It's
Abuja
in
people
Lagos.
protest too much.
Thank you.
It's a lie.
Ayola was just doing the
Lagosians are
Nollywood drug
fornicators
addict
and
thing.
adulterers.
That's all
Abuja, Sodom and Gomorrah, that's what you people
It's a
are.
lie.
Anywho, whoever here knows people that
Please,
do
all we
cocaine.
do is beer ban. We don't know people that take things like that. Please, we don't
Okay.
do hard drugs.
Okay,
Maybe shisha, yes.
I believe you. Anywho, whoever here knows people that do cocaine, please drop in the comments, let us know. Do they walk around all the time? Because I don't imagine that's but again, I don't know. Maybe. But I don't think so. But it seemed like that was all he had. He was just fidgety and jittery and the whole time, which again also took me out because I don't, what is this person? What is this character? And then we move on to you people's YouTube guy. I was like, oh, he's a good looking man, but he has the same facial expression all the time. And I feel like a few times he had to remind himself that he was supposed to be laughing or smiling. And you could see him like put it on like, oh yeah. Back to the serious face. I'm like, okay, sure, Jan. Oh yeah. And also only one person's makeup was good in this film. What's her name again? Onyinye/Queen, I can't remember her real name. She was the only one that had good makeup.
Tope.
She was and I was wondering if she did it herself. Because everyone else's makeup was bad. And harsh. Like, it was, I think it was the lighting. Yeah, the lighting was pretty harsh. And just made everyone's makeup look pretty bad. I don't know. Was it, I think Vanessa, was it you? Someone mentioned in They're Good that they think maybe they're trying to give like a bad bleach look to Elizabeth, right? A bad bleach look to Shafi. Was it intentional?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was intentional.
I think that one was intentional because it appeared in multiple times. Like during the party, you didn't see the red under her eyes, but it was like after she cried, and her makeup had wiped. So it was basically she was using makeup. This is what I'm assuming. Again, a lot of conjecture here. She was using makeup to hide her bleaching spots. But once she done they cry, makeup they bleed, you then see the red splotches from the bleaching. That is what
I
I
hope
believe.
that's what it was, and not just badly done makeup on her.
No, the rest of the
Um,
other people was badly done makeup. I don't think Shafi's was.
Definitely. I think they just try to do less makeup. Anyway, what do I know?
what do I know?
I just
Yeah,
thought makeup wasn't good.
yeah, yeah, and it was somewhat distracting. But yeah, man, I don't know. And then the refusal to, what is that end? What is that end with the realization? Like, okay. And then what? And no, nobody should say, oh, don't you know you can end something open-ended. This is a whodunit. That, this is a whodunit. You have to tie up a whodunit, right? You've kind of told me what happened, sure, but tie it. Put someone in fucking cuffs. Also, yeah, just sorry, the last one. I feel like, I don't know, man, when you're following a whodunit, you gotta give me, like, there were a couple of plausible characters, right? You gotta give me someone plausible for his death, and then find a reason why it's not them, right? I don't know, sometimes kill them off, right? It's like, we're just gonna have one person dead and we won't kill anyone else to join him in this whodunit. Give me a plausible character, then take them out. Give me a plausible character, then take them out. I don't have to kill them, just take them out. And then give me something else. Have absolutely no idea. Do I even know why, Fine Boy killed him? Do we know?
No, they didn't give us a reason. I think they hinted at it initially, but they didn't develop that
That they
story
were the
enough.
only two Africans in the company?
I think there was a scene. I think when he was following him up, they were talking about I think
They were
it
talking
was,
about reducing cost of production.
yeah, I think it was something on that. So there was
They were
no
doing business,
expansion.
talk.
They were
Gotta
just
reduce cost
they
of
actually didn't
production.
give a reason why he would want to kill him. It was just again DIY. Just do it yourself.
Sorry, also
Put in the missing
that
numbers.
conversation was the most, again, I don't know who I said it.
That conversation was very
Pointless.
It was so
business. We
stupid.
do
We do
business.
business. And
We do
Pointless.
have
business.
you
It
guys
wasn't
seen
even.
that?
We do
Have you seen
business.
that Nkemo
I
clip
too do business.
where somebody, where
It
a
wasn't.
reporter asked him, what do you do? And Nkemo says, I'm a businessman. He
I
said,
do
what's your business?
business.
He said, I do business. I make deals. If you have a deal,
I mean,
I will buy your
honestly,
deal. Literally, that's what that conversation was.
but Vanessa, do you know,
Oh.
honestly, when they were having
Like,
that
they could have
conversation,
left
I was
that
thinking
conversation
to
without dialogue. They could have left that thing without
yes, the
dialogue.
dialogue there. I was like,
Wrap it
what
up.
exactly is this business
So much
about?
of the dialogue in this film
It
stressed me
didn't
out.
it didn't give
So
anything.
business.
Wrap it up.
Anywho, yeah, after, with these few points of mine, I hope I've explained what I did not like about the parry.
Few points, my God. All right. Okay. Things I like. First off, we've already mentioned lighting. I don't often mention these things because, except they're quite distracting, and in this, it was just so harsh, the light for a lot of the things. And then whoever was doing this, decided that they were going to, I think, overly sharpen the final image, which just made that combined with the harsh lighting, it just made it look very ugly. It was quite an ugly film to look at, to be honest, for 2+ hours. Oh, sorry, series. Sure, it was written as a series, but it was very ugly to look at. And the sound, of course, was not good. Didn't like that, we're still having people like hit their lapel mics, and that's still an embarrassing thing we have to contend with. Different, mics with obviously very different background noises. That's just sad that we have to contend with that in 2025, but alas. Okay. I think most people have said all the issues I had, but I think the thing to tie everything for me, the reason why this didn't work was, even though this tried to have kind of a Nigerian spirit, unlike one of my favorite whodunits, my favorite Nollywood whodunits, and maybe one of the greatest whodunits of all time, Weather for Two. Motive.
I just knew it. I just knew it.
Motive. It's the thing that is the problem with this film. Sorry, series. It's the motive. And unfortunately, they stole motives that maybe might work in a different film, in a different culture, where some things are a bigger deal than they are in this world. Anyway, because like other people have mentioned, your friend only 500K. You sleeping outside with somebody. I honestly don't know. If you tell me those ones, I don't think those things are enough to kill anybody in Nigeria, per se. If I had to pick one, I might actually say the 500. How much was it? 500?
150 million.
Oh, 150 million. Sorry. 150 million. I'm actually, I'm actually say the 150 million naira, is the thing that might lead somebody to do murder, to be honest. It's not cheating on this thing. So like, yeah, the problem was all of the motives didn't seem strong enough on Nigeria, and they didn't do it well because it's not like you can't have cheating be or you can't have cheating or sort of something like this scandal, but then you have to put it in the right context. That to be somebody who can't afford for this to come out, or somebody who this coming out would really hurt a reputation. It's very difficult to do it in Nigerian culture, but one of the closest things I can think of is maybe a big pastor. Now we're talking about, this needs to hide. But at least that one I will understand. But like, just some regular guy. That's why Vanessa had said, yeah, like this is just a Yoruba man. I don't know whether Yoruba men can claim monopoly on that kind of behavior in Nigeria. I would like to charge you and come and see the South men. We are very much capable.
But the families will not be secret.
Yeah, that's the truth. Don't do the secret part of this.
It's the secrecy, girl, that I'm talking about.
But yeah, this is actually part of, again, what makes something, I get why one would want to do something about this. It's like, because all of us are watching this and going, not that big a deal, because it's not our culture. You haven't given us that motive that we will believe in. And I think that's just, for me, it was the biggest problem with all of it. And then, like you said, the James Gardner at the end, like, we don't even know his own. It's like his own is,
maybe it's for
we're guessing. I was thinking, I guess maybe it's because he got made CEO. Maybe it was, I don't know, they are fighting for the same, I don't even know.
And so if he died when everything, is it village free?
I have no idea. I have no idea why he did it, to be honest. I just thought, maybe it's one business. Because, like, to be honest, I don't, and at the end of the day, what the things about whodunits is that when they finish, and I think others alluded to something like this, when they finish, and maybe Nollywood must change actually, when they finish, when they're doing this is how it happened, you should be able to put it together. Like, if I watch this film from the beginning now, I will see the way this thing happened. It should recontextualize the way you viewed the film the first time. There's nothing in this film, if you watch it again, you're not going to see anything different other than you just think, these police people, when you're watching it again, you will go, these police people, why are you guys vibrating? That's the only thing that you might notice but like, you don't get, oh, I understand why James Garner is the person you need to watch out for. The only thing there was supposed to be a unique thumbprint, which is a very poor choice of word, because all thumbprints are unique, my guy. Like, when she said unique thumbprint, I was like, huh? Identical twins I don't think identical twins have unique thumbprints. If I'm like, so I don't even know.
You know who has a unique thumbprint?
So
You people should not laugh. I'm about to tell you something serious. People are laughing. Indian actor Hrithik Roshan. Go and look at his thumb. That's who has a unique thumb. Not somebody's thumb that looks like he just sliced his thumb with a knife or something. I swear that unique thumb just looked like he had an injury on the thumb. Or am I blind?
He did have a cut.
So
it was just like, that's what makes the thumb unique.
Yeah, he said thumbprints because all thumbprints are unique. That's why we use them for identification, because no two people have
hoping that somebody has a cut and somebody doesn't.
Yeah. So, I just
gonna say, I'm willing to bet a small amount of money that the writer probably put this guy's motive, and somebody cut it out because of suspense.
Yeah, I don't think I just don't think the person who did this completely understood the whodunit genre. They might like Sini Tete is like, oh, I get the general gist, but I don't think the person understands what makes a whodunit pop. And I'm sorry, watch the classics, Weather for Two. I wouldn't say Knives Out. Knives Out is almost like an anti-whodunit, like a deconstruction of the genre. So that's too big. Maybe Weather for Two is too wild for you. Maybe watch the Poirot. Yeah, watch them Poirot ones. That will give you this thing. But once Poirot does his explanation, you see all the things that led us to how we got here. And when you watch it again, you will notice yourself with something different. It's not the same for this. And that's why this just doesn't land well. That again, and, the motives of everybody involved, to be honest. Like, I know, like, people are saying these are the things that, these are reasons that these people want to kill him, but I don't buy any of these reasons as motives to kill someone.
Kill him at his birthday party, everybody here had access to him at different times.
And honestly, even when I just remember the closest thing they came to doing, they did do something that Mrs. C said, where you give us some money and you take it away, with Kende's character, the wife's character.
Nobody watching believes
it's just when they said that she had a pharmacy and she poisoned him with this because, like, on a normal it wouldn't be a problem, but he has a condition, and that's spiking with the kept on calling poisoning, which I think is a different phrase, but forget that. But spiking it with that particular drug mixed with his condition was going to kill him. And I was like, well, wait, so I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because now she knows something particular about him and she has the means. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But now when you say James Gardner is the killer, why does he know he has the condition? Why does he? It's just, he just, hey, by the way, guys, so, yeah, I don't know. It's, you do that only in the way that then later on it makes sense why James Gardner knows to spike his drink in that exact way. But they didn't even do that. So yeah, this film, series didn't really, know how to do the whodunit. It's just like somebody who had a passing interest not an interest. I wouldn't call this interest. Somebody has watched Who Done It before, and was like, yeah, I can do it. Or somebody, maybe one person knew, shot somebody very important to the process did not understand it, and that person has spoiled the soup, unfortunately. So yeah, that's why it didn't work for me. All right. Before we go into pushbacks, Vanessa, you have your hand up.
So about when you were talking about unique thumbprint, forensics, because when a anti-detective was walking around with her ugly trousers and was backing up everybody, back this up, don't back that one, don't touch that one, don't do this one, don't do that one. She called her guy, was like, expedite this process. This is a very important case. How is it that it wasn't until the day of burial? God, that the forensics came back with the results? Haba! What are we doing? What are we doing here as a people? Genuinely. And everyone, we keep talking about this reveal, right? People are talking, oh, I like the end. Will you keep quiet? So what was the point of Madam Detective and her ugly trousers? No, because really, she was walking around the place looking at camera, looking at people's thumbs, looking at people's eyes as we were talking. Me, I was expecting a whole Hercule Poirot type reveal, where she gathers everybody in the living room that she chased the mother and father out of and say, I have our killer. No, she didn't do that. She carried her ugly trousers to police station and was speaking her 1 and 2 Hausa up and down the place and waited for how many days for forensics that she shouted at the poor guy. That poor guy, I felt bad for him. He said, I was about to do that, man, because really, don't tell me what to do. I was already doing it before you came inside this place and you're telling me to bag it up. I was gonna do it. Don't shout at me. She was just shouting up and down the place, bag it, don't bag that one. Meanwhile, forensics still took how many days until the day of his burial for him and mommy Bobo at the same time to do. No, these people really didn't know what they are doing. And I just want to also add, Mrs. C, I thought I literally had a full 2 minutes laugh at you doing na to remember a weekend to remember. That's all.
Not gonna lie, we were at the party and they started playing that song and I had flashbacks.
I have flashbacks every time I hear it too.
That song is forever ruined.
Forever changing!
A jam as well. All right. Rotimi is back. Rotimi, do you want to tell us what you do not like about the party? If you can hear us.
Well, yeah, I think, okay, the main thing I probably took away from this, we've had a couple of like these big Nollywood productions where like they did this, there's one main plot, then there's another subplot, and all the plots don't connect together. I just appreciate the fact that we're sticking to a whodunit. This whole thing was being driven by, let us go and find the killer. And I'm like, okay, you're following one story, I can follow it, and we're going to get to the end. For that, I'm just happy that, okay, if this is the minimum requirement, I can manage it. If you can make it better, cool. But I'm like, anything that's probably, maybe there's anything negative in this stuff, I'll manage it because I've seen worse. And I can comment, at least I can come and comment on this. Other stuff, I'll just say, you won't even see me in this room. So I like the party. I think it's a nice attempt. More grease to the elbows of the producers, the actors, and the writers. May they do more. Good one for Nollywood. Thank you. Good night.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Rotimi. I just wanted to add, and maybe this can be the beginning of the pushbacks section as well, because I think Rotimi said something about it's nice to see all the setups have payoff. I don't think our female investigator with the trousers
and dead husband
and dead. Was it dead? Yeah. I was like, I don't know where this is going. I don't know what was going to do with this.
She could have not been in the film and it would still have been the same.
Yeah.
honestly, she did nothing. Love Eva, but really, she just wore that. Jen, I know I keep harping on these trousers, but I feel like that's the only thing she did in this week.
Oh
Okonkwo
God,
no trousers ofo and was walking around the place.
this
She
Georgie
just
has suffered.
no, that trousers scared me. She just was walking around in that trousers because really, all she did was sit behind the desk and just stare at people, angrily or not angrily, stared off into space when she supposedly was re-traumatized by potentially them accusing a woman of killing her husband. You know, I was like, okay, so you know that Kelechi could have done that too, right? Not trying to take a job from a woman, no, but to be honest, none of those detectives could have been there, and this film would have still been the same. If all we had was Yomi Fashlanso, this film would have still been the same. We didn't need Kelechi and Eva as the detectives because all they did was just look. They were just staring and making faces.
To be honest, because nobody really did anything, at the end of the day, the movie, the only thing, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
only Apostle was really needed because
Only Apostle.
Apostle was the one who made the prediction, and Apostle was and you know, that's how we saw it at the end because, again, because nobody makes any move to sort of, to cause the solution at the end. Not really. That's it. Even when our babe looks at the unique thumbprint and say blah 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 blah. I mean, like that's not enough still. That's not enough.
Touch the bottle,
Yeah,
touch the glass.
yeah, that's not enough. We're going back to you need more. You're going to need more evidence about something like, okay. Anyway, write to me. Any pushback, anything?
Yeah, so when I said about the payoff, it was actually about Apostle's prediction and not the detectives. You know how I said at the beginning that the halfway point between trying to do a murder mystery and trying to keep the nuances of Nigeria. What I really enjoyed was the nuances of Nigeria, all the characters of Femi Branch, Bob Manuel, Shafi Bello. When Shafi Bello found out what Bob Manuel's character had done, that she swore for him, and they're like, Nijere, that was what I was enjoying. And the payoff was the apostle speaking in riddles. Because when I saw the apostle in the beginning, I was like, what's this? I don't know. I thought we were doing detective. Why are we calling the apostle? So what he said that was kind of like riddles, it paid off at the end when it now got revealed that, okay, that was my own payoff. The detectives, I'm not talking about that the detective part is, let's meet us halfway between. We're trying to do something that the world can understand. So that's why I said that it's simple. Oh, we're doing a detective who done it mystery. Okay, this is what we are building the world around. Small. And I think there's one thing again. The cool thing about it, that why I like this story, is about the way they handle the production, because majority of the story is in one building. That main building, there was that extra building when Bimbo Bomawa was on top of that. Kule Remy came to blackmail him. Then they had the police interrogation room. But the fact that they kept the production contained, that's why they could contain the story, put all their multiple characters. While your multiple characters, all of them are suspects. I'm like, okay, people have started managing the stories you are telling, so it does not get too far away from you. That's all. I'm like, just don't let the story get too far away from you. So we just know that at the end of the day, all we need to find out at the end of the film, who killed Bobo. Once we find out, well, cool. And that's why I was like, okay, that's my payoff and my set off. We found out who killed Bobo. Well, how the detectives did arrive at that something. I'm not crazy about the detectives, but Apostle's prediction, his riddles, yes, that's a good payoff and set up and payoff for me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was some, just there were others. That didn't tie for me. And the nuance, you weren't, I don't think you were here when I did my bad. I think one of my problems with setting it in the Nigerian world, and even though, like, I agree with you to some degree that they tried to put some Nigerian nuances in there, I don't think the motives work very well in a Nigerian world, because I think a lot of these things they're not skill worthy in Nigeria. Not on the face. I think you need this and something else, a slightly more different context. I mean, like, Kende's character is literally saying it. It's like he's not the first to. Yeah, he's like he's not the first. Yeah, no, she has a point. He's not the first. Literally, his father had done it. Out by in secret, and even after it happens, it seems like Shafi's character, even though she has not forgiven him, but like
She go nowhere.
He's not going anywhere.
She
Like,
go nowhere. What do you mean?
it's just it's
where?
not that
It's
big.
not that deep.
He's just gonna hear some passive aggressive bands for like 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks at 100%, and then maybe the rest of his life about 20%.
And beyond that, it is her one revenge that babe is never going to enter her home. That woman is going to always be an outside family. That woman that came and said, "It's my turn," is a lie. It's not your turn. She goes nowhere. It's not anything motive. Sorry.
That woman gets to enter your home.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's just, it wasn't a big deal. That's why, again, that's what I mean by the motive. The motive doesn't work because it is in a Nigerian setting as well. So I think I needed something stronger for all of these things to hold better. So yeah, that's why, didn't even work out for me. Any other pushback before we do our summaries? Cool. Let's do our summaries then. Rotimi, what's your summary? What's your general take on the party?
My general take on the party, this is the most entertaining thing I've watched from Nollywood on Netflix in a while. Probably my best ensemble Nollywood cast since the wedding party. It was decently done to a certain level. It was not as bad as some other things we have watched and reviewed. So I was happy with it. My expectations are not so high. So when I still surpass my expectations, I'm usually happy. So I was happy with the party. I can recommend it to people, and everybody I've seen on timeline that has watched it, at least majority of people enjoyed it. So I found it enjoyable.
Okay. All right. Vanessa, do you want to give us your summary of the party?
Sure. If you want to watch a murder mystery that has murder, no mystery, no detective work, zero motives, and a really, really accurate apostle, the party is the one for you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Vanessa. Nollywood must change. What's your overall take on the party? Oh, it's not even Nollywood must change. It's Ma.
Okay.
Keep an apostle on speed dial, guys. That's all I can say. Apostle will change your life. You'll find your son's killer. Everything. Just keep him on speed dial. Call him when you need him.
All right, thanks, Ma. Nollywood must change.
Okay. If you're going to watch a whodunit that the detectives did absolutely nothing just to listen to the character speak. They didn't even use anything they got from the character to get anything. So watch this one. I don't know why Netflix would think this after all their shakara that they're not going to take anything from Nollywood. They have to take something like this. So it's okay. I think the audience loves it. You know, Nigerians, we don't really need to do too much for the audience, so it's okay.
All right. Thanks. Thank you. Nothing must change. Elizabeth, do you want to give us yours?
Yeah. Okay. So my summary, like everything that I did today, I wrote it down. I said, unfortunately, the party falls short due to its writing. A more focused narrative and a clearer understanding of procedural storytelling would have been greatly benefited to this series. Okay. It feels like the concept with a much more developed script would have worked, because this is a frustrating watch. Anyways, My expectations have been set by a more casual content. Perhaps my assessments would have differed. So the current execution does not meet standard for a compelling crime drama. Thank you very much, niggas.
Wow. All that English is out of left field.
Okay. Anna's dropped. Okay, let me read some people's summary. Okay, Orange says summary: the party is a victim of Nollywood's obsession with dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Chai. Yeah. All right. Mrs. C, what's your summary for the party?
I really would like everyone that was instrumental to how the whole thing played out to just watch a few murder mysteries, because there was a lot missed that took me out. But man, it's one of the less offensive things we've watched, so Ishadi.
Yes. So for me, this is the upper tier, is close to the upper tier of I See the Intention.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it did not succeed, but it did not succeed. It also means that it wasn't the worst version of somebody trying to do something slightly new. But yeah, that's exactly how I feel. This is upper tier. I See the Intention, which means it failed. All right. Yeah. So that is the party for me. Next Sunday on Nollywood Film Club, we're going back global, hopefully, with, I think the moth in the fire flying through the skies or something. I don't know. I keep on forgetting the name of this. Sha Moth and Fire is inside the name, on Prime. That's the movie we're discussing. I think it drops on like a Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, what a weird date drop. But yes, you have enough time to watch. And we'll be back here next Sunday, 6 p.m. Wax. And now that we have entered the geolocked Nigeria, well, keep your ears to the ground, because we might revisit some things. I don't know if we'll revisit some things that have been done before that were already locked, but we'll see if there's anything worth revisiting. But thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday, 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.